There are very few things that are as emotionally exhausting and concerning for a parent to watch than to see your child struggling with motor tics. From the outside looking in, of course, it looks like something that your child or another person should be able to control and limit, but the exact opposite is true. You might be able to actually see and perhaps witness the stress of life building up on their developing body and nervous system. And they might have to move their neck. They might have to move their eyes. They even might have to move their mouth. And the crazy thing about it is it's such a busy world. Speaking of stress, like that not everybody else maybe notices. But once you notice it and once your child notices that they're having motor tics, they can't not notice it. And the child goes further when you take a medical approach to motor tics. They don't really know how to explain what's causing it. And they're definitely not going to address the root cause with any of their treatments. Most of them say, don't worry about it, they'll grow out of it. And motor tics can be transient. But that doesn't mean the stress causing them goes away. It just means that the symptom of the stress may go away. And stick with me on this video, I'll break that down. But also, if they get bad enough and they're going into the motor tics like Tourette's, generally motor tics come with conditions like anxiety and ADHD and sleep difficulties for kids. So a lot of times a pediatrician and neurologist will recommend and prescribe a medication. And if you look up a host of side effects of these medications, they're simply not good. They come with all sorts of other challenges. So parents, if your child struggles with uncontrollable motor tics that often get worse in times of added stress, whether it be seasonal or weather shifts or during growth spurts, then this video is for you. We're going to break down the science of what's really causing them. And then we're going to get into drug free action steps that you can use to address them without medication. So here's the deal. Understanding motor tics is actually one of the simpler things when we break down the science behind what's really going on with the body, what's really going on with the nerves and the muscles. There's something called subluxation underneath this whole story. Subluxation has three main components to it. The first being that there's a misalignment. Second, when these joints, especially the neck and the shoulders and these areas get misaligned, they get tense, they get fixated, they get restricted. And when that tension builds up enough to create this subluxation, the third component is the real big part of the story. It creates neurological dysfunction, particularly with the neuromuscular system. So when the tension and the stress from subluxation builds up big enough or bad enough for your child, they're literally trying to adjust themselves. They're literally trying to get that tension out by moving their neck, by opening their mouth, by moving their eyes, by doing the different things. And some tics, they can be verbal, they can be grunting, by talking even. And this expression of movement is trying to get through that subluxation. So the root cause of motor tics are this neuromuscular tension built up and stuck in the body. Now, what triggers that subluxation and that stress on the body, well, that could be lots of things. It can go far back as birth. And we find in case histories with motor tics, kids all the time, and maybe they had a tough birth with forceps or vacuum or an emergency C-section. That then led to, some torticollis and some neck or neuromuscular issues earlier on. And so then they show back up later on when the most common triggers like growth spurts and seasonal challenges or changes or immune challenges or sports injuries and big periods of stress in a kid's life, like a big test, just a busy time in life, is when you'll see these motor tics be triggered the most. And that's why it's frustrating as well, because it's a little bit of a roller coaster for parents. There's certain days or certain weeks or seasons where they're really bad, and then there's times when they're not. And it all has to do with stress. So if this underlying stress and tension is already sitting there in your child's neck and nervous system and their neurospinal system, and then there's more stress for a day or more stress for a season, you're going to get motor tics in that season. So the traditional medical approach that we talked about in the intro of this video It's not the one that I find most parents today want it at all. In fact, parents of our generation, we're looking to put medications as a last resort. And this story was true for Addison's parents. They went right to work with chiropractic. They went right to work on reducing that stress on her body. Unfortunately for her, the main trigger of hers was a toxic exposure. Some bad decisions made at the school she attended at the time, where they exposed all the kids to these crazy neurotoxins and had a lot of challenges from that. And it triggered her. She was in a growth spurt. She had just gotten braces. So it was her own little mini perfect storm that triggered these neck and eye and parts of her mouth having these motor tics. And her parents, they fought them for 12 to 18 months, but they were able to get ahead of them with neurologically focused chiropractic. They got ahead of them by reducing the stress on her nervous system and releasing that tension. And it was an incredible thing to see her heal naturally through these tics. Chiropractic, it doesn't treat, chiropractic doesn't cure. That's not our approach to motor tics. We address the root cause head on, just like everything else we do in the office. So if your child is struggling with motor tics, I want you to learn more. Get more information about subluxation, neurological tension, and how neurologically focused chiropractic, like we offer in our practice at Rising Health Family Chiropractic. And if you just want help right now, comment below, send us a DM. We are here to get you more information, to get your child through these challenges, and to get your whole family through these challenges, because it really does take that toll emotionally on moms and dads. So again, check out our website for the article and more information. Comment, DM us, and last thing, please share this video with another parent. Parents everywhere. Maybe in a Facebook group where you've been searching for answers. Please share this. You never know whose other kiddos are going through these challenges and they need this information as well. So thanks for watching this one. Comment, DM, share it. We'll see you on the next one. God bless.